Ransom got that sauce in it.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Rare Teens. I am your host, Samaya, the local advocate, your favorite freelance artist, and your favorite life coach, sex coach, and relationship coach. And, happy 2025, or, welcome to 2025. I know I'm like 13 days late, but it's been a very, very hefty start to the year. Clearly not just for me, but for everyone. So, before we get kind of started on whatever the topic will be for today, because I'm just kind of spitballing, because right now my mind is also a little everywhere, given the situations that are going on around us. Let's go ahead and just please keep in prayer everyone who is in LA, our loved ones, family, friends, our neighbors. Just keep those who are going through this chaotic wildfire and lack of disaster preparedness. Please keep them in your prayers. If you have the ability to give in any way, shape, or form, please look for organizations that are wholeheartedly giving to the community, that are putting their needs first and not, you know, hoarding the materials that are necessary for these individuals to, you know, have a better quality of life in this time. For those of you who follow me on the Dating While Disabled page, thank you guys so much for continuing to support the advocacy work that I do. As you know, I am a human rights, disability rights, reproductive rights, and a LGBTQIA advocate. I mainly focus on for the Black community because of the intersections that we have within our Blackness. A lot of times we have a lot less resources. So what I will be doing with the organization that I work with for this time is we will be holding some safe space for the individuals who are enduring these wildfires. We'll do this by having support groups, maybe having some grief circles, and also, oh man, it's leaving me. What is it? We're just going to be doing a lot of mental health components here. Yes, safety check-ins. We'll be making sure that our loved ones are, safe. Checking to see what we can do, just to make sure that we contact people's loved ones to let them know that their loved ones are safe. And just doing what we can in this time to be a support system for those who are losing their homes, for those who have lost loved ones, for those who have lost everything. So please continue to keep those who are in Los Angeles in your prayers. I know that we recently had a blizzard that went through the east and the south. So just continue to keep everyone in prayer right now in the United States, because there's just a lot of chaotic things going on right now. And I'm sure just like it's heavy for me, it's very heavy for you as well. So, gonna take some time, try and ground myself, because I'm also all over the place today. Alright, so I don't think I have like a main point of focus for today's video. What I can say is that there's going to be a lot of need for us to utilize the tools that maybe we have in our, like, our little tool belt, our little bag, you know what I mean. For those of us who have been able to do the work, those of us who have been able to get the therapies and the coaching and the resources that we need to regulate our nervous systems throughout these chaotic times. And so I'm just going to share a few helpful things that I think could be helpful for you. A few things that I do, like my personal account of what works for me. Maybe some suggestions on what worked for you, or figuring out how you can figure out what works for you, and grounding yourself, and utilizing some of these methods to work your way through some chaotic situations, to process some overwhelming emotions, or just the heaviness of whatever you may be dealing with right now. Um, so as a person who I love writing. Writing is just something that I do. It's one of my creative faucets of life. So I've always been a huge journal girl. So I definitely would suggest, for those of you who like writing, or like you like to have some time of reflection, um, maybe you want to know how far you've come, you know, in the future, and just to see, the differences in how you're handling situations, or how you're moving forward in life. I think that journaling is a amazing component for that. It gives you time to put your actual thoughts and your feelings on to paper. And when you're writing down like your wants for the future, what you desire for yourself, when you put it on paper, you're making the plan. You're starting the plan of action. So I'm a huge component, or a huge supporter of journaling, and workbooks, self-help work prompts. I feel like those are very helpful. I do want to just go ahead and state that none of these are a replacement for like having therapeutic services or like a life coach. None of these are a replacement for counseling therapies, or for those who need psychiatrics. These are just helpful tools to kind of get you through the situation, but it's not necessarily the key component that will get you to the breakthrough that you need. So please always consult with your life coach, consult with your counselor, your therapist, your psychiatrist about the things that are going on within your life, so that they can provide you with the tools that will work best for you. But I do believe that journaling is a huge component, and just being able to reflect, being able to see how far you've come, and just making it plain, making what you want plain and clear as day. Another helpful grounding technique that I think will be extremely helpful right now, that you can do anywhere, is meditation. So I know people think of meditation, and you're thinking probably of like the chanting and the It's not always that per se, but that does work for some people. I know it doesn't work for me when it comes to like the chanting and the like the sounds, the what are they called, the little sound bowls or whatever. Those don't work for me, probably because I have epilepsy. uh, Probably doesn't do well for that, for me in my case. But finding guided meditations can be easier than expected. I personally utilize an app called Insight Timer, where it has a lot of different ways of meditating, whether that's through the sound of nature, guided meditative practices with meditative coaches and leaders, even yoga. So if you guys need some meditation resources, please check out Insight Timer. Also, you don't need any music. You don't need a guided person per se if that doesn't work for you. I know I like to meditate in nature. So, just walking through the park, or, taking a drive through a scenic view or a scenic route, just meditating on the beauty that is around me is very helpful. So there are different ways that you can meditate, and you know, different resources. You can look on YouTube as well. I'd say one of my favorite meditative coaches is what is his name? Darius. You can find him at Artist Morning. One of these days, he'll probably thank me for giving him a shout out, which I'm more than happy to do. But you can check them out at Artist Morning. Very peaceful, especially for those of us who still want to have our creative spirit energized and everything. So check out Artist Morning. That's a really fun and engaging guided meditative practice that I personally know about, and I would recommend anytime. What else? Of course, get a coach. Have your therapist, have your counselor. have your psychiatrist. There's nothing wrong with needing medication to balance out any chemical imbalances that are happening in your mind or in your emotions. So, don't feel, the stigma that we used to feel for those of us who are like millennials and like beyond. The stigma that we used to endure when it comes to like seeking mental health services. We're in better times. People are at a time where you know better, you do better. And, mental health is not something that is a hindrance unless you allow it to be. So, make sure that you have a coach, a life coach, a relationship coach, a therapist, like someone who is going to help you out, especially in the ways that you are comfortable. I do understand that for, me and my culture as a black person, a lot of us don't really trust therapists. There's a lot of historical basis for that. When we're speaking of logic, logical reasons behind why we don't trust certain systems. However, there are ways for you to find black psychologists. There are ways for you to find black therapists. It's still kind of far and few between, especially when it comes to accepting insurance and paying on your own and sliding scale. But there are ways that you can connect with a therapist or a coach or a mental health professional who is understanding of our backgrounds and our needs, and is not going to stigmatize or put some kind of bias on us because of stereotyping. So I definitely am a huge advocate of mental health components. I mean, I'm a life coach, so of course I'm going to tell you that it works, not because it's going to fill my pockets, but because I've personally gone through the process as well. And just for overcoming a lot of the traumatic incidences that we encounter, or just maybe some of the unhealthy habits that we don't know how to break or can't recognize. These are essential for us to be able to move forward in a way that is not only healthy for us, but conducive to the goals that we have for ourselves. It helps us to be able to communicate better and be a better role model for us who have children. If you're trying to break a generational curse, don't expect to get approval from the from the generations that are cursed. That saying or so. So focusing on ourselves is the best thing that we can do, not only for us, but for the people who we love as well. So please be sure to have some kind of mental health professional that you're comfortable with, and just don't try to brush it off. Um, uh, Honestly, I think that's all that I have the energy to muster for today. Um, as I mentioned before, I will be working with the nonprofit organization that I partner with, so that we can provide some helpful resources for those who are going through this chaotic time in Los Angeles, for those who have loved ones in Los Angeles. So we will be taking our time to, provide these support groups and these grief circles. I will be dropping some information on my social pages. I might leave some tips here, but I will generally leave that information connected to my Dating While Disabled page. So I will also try and put a video up there as well, just to keep you guys posted on the resources that are available to you, and be able to be a resource to the people who are in need right now. So as we start this year off, aside from doing the things that are going to help us to keep ourselves grounded, expound on, figuring out who we are within ourselves and growing to love ourselves, and, just growing to love the life that we live. I think that this year is very important for us to not only, continue to put our bag forward. We all have our financial goals, we all have our business goals, but let's also try and make it a point to be able to enjoy the life that we live, even in the little moments. Like right now, it's very chaotic, it's very hectic right now, it's very heavy. But for me, I just want to take this time to, give thanks to the God that I serve. I am a believer in the Holy Trinity. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. I do believe in the Holy Spirit. I'm not into the conventional religious belief systems that are currently in place. But I do have a spiritual connection with the Lord that I serve. I read the Bible, things of that nature. And I have seen him work his miracles in my life. And so for me, I just want to take this time to give thanks to him for blessing me to be able to sit here and to be able to talk with you. Blessing me to have the energy and the health to be able to do this with you right now, because for those of you who are unaware, I live with a very rare coexistence of autoimmune conditions known as systemic lupus and ankylosing spondylitis, which impact my brain and my spine through generalized epilepsy and through fusing the vertebrae in my spine together, which causes a lot of difficult issues with mobility, a lot of agonizing pain. It's just a lot of things that could be described within each one of these conditions. But my life has been changed over the last, I'd say it's going on 12 years now, since I had been diagnosed or tested positive for systemic lupus, and my life has changed immensely within those last 12 years. I have personally seen how my body has fought against itself. The people who have been around and in close proximity with me have also seen these very traumatic situations and incidences with how my body is fighting against itself, and it's very difficult to explain. But I'm very joyous for this moment that I have in my life to be able to explore the things that I didn't always have a chance to explore, whether that was because of circumstances that I had to endure, that I have lived through, or health situations. But this is the time that I have. This is the time that I have decided to answer the call that God has on my life, and so whatever I can do to help advocate for people who are having their human rights violated, or just struggling with living a good quality of life, that is what I'm here to do. Simply because I know how these different aspects of life are impacting to one's quality of life. And so I come at all of these different causes. I come at them with such passion because I've seen how God has worked all of the things that I have gone through together for my good, so that I can be able to be a resource to other people. So, maybe in one of my previous videos, I had spoken about an incident of like domestic violence that I had with a person. And I do want to just clarify, like, for me, I stand on what I said on not necessarily having to forgive this person, but I don't want to necessarily carry that kind of energy on my page. You know what I mean? Because for me, I have continued to be poised and grateful or graceful in the ways that I, handled that situation. And so I would like to continue to do so by, encouraging others to, don't necessarily put people on blast. I don't think I did that. Share your story because it is your story. But just don't allow people to change your character or who you are, because who you are is very important to this time right now. So, I'm just taking this moment to just give thanks to God and the Holy Spirit and, my Lord, my Savior, for pulling me out of situations that I have, honestly, I don't know how I would have survived without him. And so this year, let's take some time to, continue to work on our goals, but to be grateful to enjoy the journey while we're on it, because, life is not a destination, it is the journey. So, as we continue to push through 2025, let's be a help to our neighbors, and, let's continue to love ourselves and push ourselves forward in the ways that can be beneficial to us and the people who we love and the people around us. So thank you guys so much for joining me on today's episode. You guys will be hearing a lot more from me. It's just a little chaotic right now because of, trying to be able to help people with the resources that they need. But please, if you guys have any resources that you can suggest or provide for anybody who is enduring the wildfires or just enduring any type of natural disaster, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. You can also send me a DM with any information that you feel is very helpful that I can share on my other platforms, just to ensure that everybody is getting access to the information that we all have the right to have. Anything else that I may be forgetting, I'll probably address on Dating While Disabled. So for the grief circles, for the support groups, please feel free to check out the Dating While Disabled page. And, keep LA in prayers. Keep everyone in prayer right now because it's very chaotic times, but we are going to make it through 2025. And so I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. As I mentioned before, they will be more consistent. But just keep an eye on my pages, my social pages, and you guys will definitely be seeing me more and hearing from me a lot more. But right now, let us focus on what we can do to help our neighbors. All right, guys, you guys take care, and I will see you on the next one.
Resin got that sauce in it.